And there we are. Hey, everybody. Hi. Welcome to another edition of Ask Us Anything. We're Mike and Jennifer Wendland, coming to you live from the RV on a very hot August night, right?
It is very warm.
She just walked out here.
I just walked out.
3 seconds to spare.
Maybe
3
1
seconds
second.
to spare. And I'm
You're
sitting
being
here. I get
generous.
here. I'm like 10 minutes early, and I have a little fan behind us going because it's very warm.
And I just adjusted it.
And so I'm ready, and she's not here, and she's not here. I said, come on, hurry up. And I start the intro, and she's still standing up, putting on her microphone, and then she sits down, and it looks like she's been here all along. Drives me nuts.
Drives them nuts.
It used to be like this when I was in TV, too. Some of the anchor people did that. It was like, oh,
what are you going to do?
But we're here. And we weren't here last week. We took a week off.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear some noise, it's because we have a fan running behind us. If I ran the air conditioner, it's right up over our head. And that would be pretty
noisy.
crazy. So it's good. Hey, I'm going to start with a super chat. Wow, this is great. Shirley has given us a super chat, a $9.99. Whoa! Thank you, Shirley. Happy Sunday to all. Thank you, Shirley, for the super chats. We love those super chats. We split them with YouTube, but they're kind of a little extra way that people show support. And there's stickers they can get too. And thank you very much for that.
And a
super
happy
chat.
Sunday to you as well, Shirley.
And when we see a super chat, we try and pull you to the head of the line here. And we got a lot of you out there already. We always say who is on first. And the honors this week go to Ray Malden. He says he's looking forward to a great show. Well, thank you, Ray. We look forward to this all week long.
We do.
In terms of audience, we end up 5,000 or 6,000 watch the live feed over the week, maybe not all at once. In our other videos, we'll get tens and tens of thousands. But this is so much fun for us because we get to talk with you. And through chat, we get to react. William has our first question. He says, has the Ford Transit warranty coverage been compromised by the installation of the aftermarket Equalizer system? No. No, it hasn't. So we're good. That's the same thing that Leisure is putting on and is able to put on, and it doesn't do anything to anything on the RV at all. They just bolt it on. So what it does is it probably makes us worth $4,000 more because that's pretty much what it cost. So we're thrilled with all of that. Hello from Robbinsville. Did you get your key fob problem resolved, and what did you have to do? We went on live on our Facebook group and our Facebook page yesterday. You weren't here. You were out weeding. But you know how those fobs don't work sometimes? It just drove me nuts because it was like that on all of our Sprinter vehicles, and it was like this on this one. Suddenly I'd push it, the door wouldn't open, the center door. It always works in the driver's side and the passenger side door up in the cab. But the center door for the RV part worked great, and then the other day it just stopped working. And so I went on, figuring lots of other people have had this. I thought it was pretty smart. I went on Facebook, our Facebook group, which has 40,000 members, our Facebook page, which has 400,000 plus likes, and everybody said the same thing. It's your battery. It's not my battery. Same thing with her fob. Her fob didn't work. No, but it's your battery. And then they said you dropped it in water. I said, it didn't. No, trust me. It's only a 1-month-old RV. Why wouldn't it work? And then there were lots of other things, how to reset it. And I tried a bunch of those. But I think I found out the issue. And it's so simple, I think. Here's what I think it is, because I have it working. There is a lock on the inside that you can turn. So let's say I open the RV up with the fob, and the center door opens, the driver and the passenger side cab doors open, and then I shut the RV door. And then suppose we're going to go to sleep or something, and I turn the lock on the inside, and then later on lock the doors in the front. I don't know if I can explain this right. But bottom line is if the lock is not open when the doors are all open on the front, they all have to be open or closed at the same time. If one is off, if the center one, this is really hard to explain. If the center one is open and closed when the other ones are open, and the center one is open when the others are locked or closed, the fob didn't work. So anyway, it's working now, and it's working great. And I'll
So
try and figure
don't
that
lock
out.
the door on the inside and lock it.
Yeah, there's another thing
the
to
fob,
lock
too.
it on the inside. Lock the deadbolt. All of that research is to say that I found a really cool product that I think I want to get. It's $239 though. And it is a digital lock that I can put on the outside of the RV and enter a code to get in. And it also has a fob, but it always works.
Then you've got to have 2 fobs.
Then you have to have 2 fobs.
You don't want that.
But here's what everybody got mad at me about, and I don't understand why they were all jumping off of me. Okay, here's my fob. Okay, there's the fob. And those are all my keys. And everybody said, why do you have all those keys? And I got somebody, I hope you weren't using all those keys when you have it in the ignition. Because the Wonder doesn't have a button start. You have to have a key in it. And I don't know why everybody was yelling about all that. I know
I don't have all those keys together.
Well, yeah, you just carry the
I carry the Ford key all by itself.
But I have to have keys to the house, to the condo.
Keys. And I don't put my Anytime Fitness on there with the other keys.
This is your car fob, so what's the big deal?
It's too many. Well, it's too heavy.
It's my keys.
It bangs against the
pulls my pants down a little bit,
Now I know why. I thought you were trying to be fashionable with your pants falling off you.
So anyway, but thank you, William. I think I have it figured out. And I'll let you know. So far, it seems to be working. Actually, it was Linda that asked that question. Thank you, Linda. Thomas asked a question. What was the smartest RV you ever owned? Have you found that 25 feet has limited your boondocking sites, finding parking in smaller towns? It has not at all.
How long was our first RV?
First one was 22.4 or 22.8. And then we ended up getting the extended length sprinters, which are the same as this, basically, just a couple inches shy of 25 feet. So it hasn't made any difference at all. I mean, if you go into a parking lot, we try and take 2 spots. We try and take 2 spots like here. We'll put the, drive it like that way and take up most of the second.
You're going to say, only because I bugged you half to death,
yes.
Say and take 2.
Because I could squeeze it in and it kind of goes out.
No, much better to take 2.
Yeah, so we take 2. And, in terms of parking on the street, I don't parallel park with this, although I have pulled up where there's plenty of room. I've pulled into most parking lots. The only thing I can't go into is parking garages.
It's 10 feet high.
And I don't think there's anything else that we really don't feel limited at all in that. Hey, when you write a question, if you do me a favor and put it all in caps, it helps as I'm scrolling. The computer and the scroll with your questions are way over there, and I'm trying to, and sometimes I need to see that question. We try and say hello to everybody, but we get so many people on here after a while that it's we want to take as many as we can. What was the smartest RV you owned? So I don't know.
What do you mean smartest? Like, gizmos and gadgets, or sharp?
We kind of put gizmos and gadgets in all of them. So smartest meaning best choice we made. I go back to the very first one we bought, the used one. That Sprinter, we bought a 2006.
It got the best gas mileage because it didn't have all the fuel.
Was that a 2006?
I thought it was a 2008.
It was a 2008. That's right. It was 2008 because that's when after that that was the year they changed something with that's when you had to have DEF fluid, I guess.
And because I like smaller, the 3 feet, shorter.
22
for me
8 versus 24.8. But that was the first one we bought. It was used, and that's how you buy one and you sell it, and then you can get a different one, and you kind of like you flip RVs sort of. But
and I like it had like 2 twin beds and storage under
much
the twin
like
beds.
The layout was much like this.
Much like this. Maybe that's why when we borrowed this for that 2 weeks, I really liked it. It was kind of hard for me to give
The
it
unit
up.
we have now is we're up here in there's 2 twin beds here in this rear
We're in the
area that
loft.
we're sitting in the loft. Yeah, or the upstairs bedroom with a couple of stairs up. But we borrowed a Wonder a year and a half ago and really liked it.
2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, and then we almost bought it, and then we ended up with the Unity, which we really like. Really like it. Kind of miss it sometimes. I wish we could combine the two. And then we got this one because we wanted to really have more storage, but we wanted experience with the Ford Transit chassis. There's a whole big story I wrote on the blog on this.
Yeah, you have 3 big suitcases filled with equipment, so the storage was necessary.
Jill, kind of a related question. Do you like the smaller Class B with wet bath or the B Plus better? And did you use the wet bath or go someplace for showers? We never.
He used it once when he wasn't with me. You use the wet bath because I don't want to wipe it down because you get mold.
I used it, but we together we never ever used the wet bath, and ever. It's Bo's out barking, and I'm trying to stop him.
Quiet, Bo.
Somebody's bringing their trash out, and here's the
that's our next door neighbor.
Yeah,
he knows Chris.
Yeah, so we never used it. It was just a pain. The B Plus that has a dry bath, stand-up dry bath, we love it, and we use that all the time.
Yeah, we do, and I'm so glad that we have it.
Yeah, so that's why I don't think I would go back to a B van. I would not. So, there, I said it. I really like having the dry bath and the dedicated bath. It's so nice. It has the instant Truma AquaGo instant hot water heater. So the water is really hot and it's dedicated and it's your own germs in your own bathroom. You don't have to go in a bathhouse and walk, Anyway, it's so much nicer.
I've been in some nasty bathhouses.
Yes, yeah.
And the worst one was I think it was Yellowstone. But that's because the people who used it were dirty. It's like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, we're at Yellowstone. I don't remember that.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Must have been really bad.
It was bad.
Linda from Northern California. So excited you guys are on tonight. Love your engagement, care, and information. Thank you, Linya. Thank you. Well, we missed you guys last week. We really did. It was sad not to see you. All right. I'm looking for questions. And let's see. This is a question, but he didn't type it with question, but I can see it when it's a little long. He says, we have really taken to the Wonder RL Rear Lounge.
I can see why you'd like that.
Do you have any idea of the wait times between ordering and fulfillment? And does the Wonder come with the built-in water pressure regulator? None of them come. I thought this one did, but it does not. But it's an $8 part. I have one. In fact, I'm doing a blog post. I'll do a blog post this week on why that $8 part is so important. The Wonder does not have a built-in water pressure regulator, so it's no big deal. It's the little part you screw on the end of the hose. We don't work for Leisure, so we don't really know. We talk to them occasionally. I know it's 12 to 14 months wait time for a Sprinter-based Unity that they sell. Maybe it's even a little longer now. I don't know what the wait time is with the Wonder. Seems to me someone told us they ordered a Wonder and they got the last of the allotment for this year from them. And they thought that they ordered it like a month ago and they thought it would be done, they said, in late October, early November. But I don't know. So you'd have to talk to a dealer or Leisure. But I would think that because of the demand that you're talking well into after the first of the year for a Ford Transit-based unit from Leisure, probably from most of the other manufacturers as well, maybe a little longer. I know the wait time for a Sprinter-based RV is a year to 14. I've heard even 16 months at some places. So you'd have to check with the manufacturers, but that's what we're thinking about. Let's go back and look for questions from you guys, and we thank you so much. Thanks to Phyllis for being here tonight and helping to moderate it. Phyllis Carr, who reminds everybody to toggle the top chat to be live chat, the top of the chat box. I don't know what that does. Remember to toggle the top chat to be live chat. Oh, that's so you can follow us in live chat. Thank you for telling everybody that. Comment from Debbie, finally retiring August 27th. Woohoo! Let's hear it for Debbie. Now, if my Unity would hurry up and get here, looking forward to great adventures. Yep.
You're going to have great adventures.
I put a blog post I wrote today, it'll be out tomorrow, on rvlifestyle.com, on 20 state parks around the country that you want to visit this fall. And in writing that, I got, many of them were places that we've been, our favorite places, like Letchworth. And so I was putting some other resources where people can, and it's going to be, those of you who get the newsletter, you'll get a link to it too in the morning. And anyway, I saw a lot of the videos, and I just got so excited about going out and getting out there again.
Okay, I got excited because I got this book out, and I was writing down every place we'd been, all the places we'd stayed just this year, January and February.
Yeah, before the lockdown.
Yeah, and that got me really excited. I mean, I was like, "Oh, that was fun. That was
We
fun."
had a great year.
Yeah, we started off.
Oh
running.
my gosh, January, February.
We started running, and then we ran into a brick wall.
Yeah, it was like, boom, stop. But we had a great year. The one thing that I can report tonight that's pretty cool is Quartzsite is on for next January. That's still on for those of you who go to Quartzsite. The big question is what were they going to do with that? It's kind of like a big, gigantic rock and mineral and RV show that for the whole month of January, everybody goes to Quartzsite in Arizona in the desert. And were they going to cancel? And they say, barring, who knows what, and of course this year it could be anything. We had an earthquake in North Carolina today, for crying out loud. But barring the unexpected, they are going to have Quartzsite on. I don't know about the Tampa RV show. That is still technically on the schedule for January, but everything short of that has been canceled, and that's pretty crazy. So we're happy with both of those places. Question from Tom. It looks like you have ultra-thin flexible solar panels on the Wonder. We do. The Class B I'm looking at has 1 or 1.5 inch frame panels. Is there a difference in electrical performance? Tom, I don't know. We've had the flex panels on our previous unit and on this unit, and we've had the framed on all of our other units. I can discern no difference, none. This has 400 watts of solar. Our Unity had 400 watts of solar. They both seem to perform just great in terms of during the day. The sun charges the batteries up whatever I've drained during the night. The lithium batteries. We have 2 lithiums on here. The sun charges it up, and it's fine by more in the day. So I don't know. I've heard stuff. People say, "Oh, you want the framed, the big thick ones, and you don't like the ultra thin flexible ones." I have no problem with the ultra thin flexible. That's what Leisure has put on these. It's easy to take care of, and they work very good. I have a solar monitor. I can monitor it and see how much I'm getting all the time, and they seem to perform just great. Question for you, Jennifer, from Maureen. How are you liking the storage net for your fruit and veggies?
Works great. I would highly recommend it.
Yep, that's in our video about organizing the RV, and we loved it. We love fruit, and
because you can't lock fruit up. Like in the pantry, it goes bad really quick. So it gets some air. It's good.
You do that little trick where you put something around the stems of the bananas.
Well, that's bananas. Yeah.
And when you're on the road, half the fun is getting local fruit, and when you travel, and where do you keep it? And we've had it rolling around on the floor.
And remember how warm it gets in your vehicle, because just like a car, you turn it off, you go away, it gets really toasty in here, even if your fruit does get air.
Yeah. So we like it, and it's a little bag, and you can see that in the video on the channel here. It's a hammock.
It's a hammock. We had the bag. Yeah. This is a hammock.
Hi, Jennifer and Mike. Did you figure out your key fob problems? Yep, we did, as we mentioned a little bit earlier on. It's all working great. Question from Brenda. I've enjoyed my Harvest Host membership used in several states other than Texas. Do you have any favorite Harvest Host spots in the country that you'd recommend? Oh my gosh, we have been to so many great Harvest Host sites.
I would say whatever area that you're going to be driving through, post that question, and then let folks tell you.
Okay, so ask guys, what comes to your mind?
Well, we haven't been everywhere in the country.
What?
I don't know where she's going.
Okay, I remember. My favorite is the alpaca farm in New Mexico.
Yeah, I like that.
Not too far from you in Texas, near the Texas border. Stayed at an alpaca farm and just had a great time.
Great fun. Nice people that owned it.
I liked the alligator farm that we stayed at in Mississippi.
Yep.
We stayed at lots of wineries. The one in the Finger Lakes area was great.
Mm-hmm.
In Pennsylvania, we stayed at a microbrew place where they threw hatchets, an axe throwing. That was pretty fun. We've got several videos on Harvest Host on there, but we love Harvest Host. We stay at a Harvest Host almost as a destination because they're so much fun.
They are.
And it's the best investment we
Well, see,
made. That membership.
I thought my answer was good because if you're traveling and
Oh,
you
yeah.
put the question out there, okay, guys, what would you recommend?
Well, you can use their website and you can put where you are and it'll show you what's in your area or where you're going.
That too.
But go to RV Lifestyle Facebook group and say, hey, anybody stayed at Harvest Host? We're going to be in Oklahoma, and see what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always good advice that you gave. All right. Let's see. Who do we have?
Greetings.
Charlotte says, greetings. Oh, in cap. I thought it was question. But anyway, hello from Corpus Christi, or as us locals call it this time of year, Corpus Crispy, like hot. Count your blessings you're not down here right now.
Oh, I don't like hot.
Hot and humid down there. Yeah, that's great. Hello from Huntington, West Virginia. Use the 7-day guide for Yellowstone in July. Really helped. Thank you so much. We're working on one right now. Another one that's coming out. I guess I can tell them where it's coming. Where the next one's going to be on Arizona. And we're a few weeks away yet from that. But Arizona will be our next 7th-day guide. And then after that, we're going to do a kind of a mega adventure guide. This is going to be a 2-week. And I'm not going to give you any more details on that, but I can't wait for that. And that's coming. So as we keep our adventure guidebooks. I'm so glad, Alan, that you enjoyed our Yellowstone guide. You can find all of our stuff at rvlifestyle.com/books. Those are where our adventure guides are. Question from Lawrence in San Diego. When using your auto stabilizers, is it okay for wheels to be off the ground or better to place blocks below the wheels? Love your channel. Great question. We've asked that many times of experts, including the manufacturers and the Equalizer folks, the people, and we've gotten different answers from every one of them. What's your thoughts when do you like, you just
It makes me nervous when the wheels are off the ground.
Yeah, me too. So what we have done is, I've been assured by almost everybody I've talked to at Leisure Travel Ads. One person there says, no, you don't want the wheels off the ground, but the others have said it's not a problem. And I've been assured by the folks at the stabilizer company that it's okay to do that, but if you can, put a couple of blocks underneath it. So we do carry around a couple of blocks if we, and very rarely do I have to have one of the wheels off. If I'm in a really bad spot, more typically if we're boondocking, then you might have one of the wheels off the ground a little bit. We try to not do that. Usually you can just move around a little bit and make it work. But they tell me that it will not damage the frame. They don't think. I think that I just am not real. It's not like a universe. Like somebody says, well, the manufacturer doesn't want to be liable in case it does anything, so they don't say anything, but it's okay. Well, it's not really good enough for me. I'd like to have a little more, absolutely it's okay, or try not to do it. So I think our thing is we try not to do it. Will it kill you overnight, wreck your unit if one of the wheels is off the ground? No. But we just...
Why? If you got those little blocks, stick one under.
Yeah, that's I think we feel. Oh, hey, here, Deb has that thing I told you about, the RV lock with the keypad. That's what I was looking at yesterday, Deb, and I think I'm going to get one of those. $239, but looks pretty cool. So did you put it in yourself? I'm curious if you put it in yourself and if it was as easy as it looked in their video. And I may order one because I like the idea that you don't, because everybody was giving me so much grief, I don't have to carry my keys around with me all the time. I could just go punch in my entry door.
I think we should have a vote and see how many people think it's a good idea to have them all in one spot.
Oh, my keys? Well, where else would you put them?
You just take a couple off.
And what do I do with them? I need them with me.
You don't always need all of them with you.
But when I do need them, and I don't have them with me.
Then you have to plan ahead.
So just carry them. Somebody sent me a link.
You don't need the car key when we're out with the Ford. I leave my car keys at home.
What's up with everybody giving me grief on my keys?
When we're in the RV, I leave the car key at home.
Well, okay. Can you fix the synchronization between your video and audio? It's fine on my end. It's your end, Mike. That's the problem. It's your internet connection that's causing the issue. My end, it's great. Your end, not so great. And So it's all synced. It's just you know, it has to do with your internet, however you're getting your internet. Sometimes you'll see that kind of sync thing happen when you're on cable television, and I notice that in ours sometimes. I'll look at and the audio is off, but it should be it should be your end, not ours.
Okay, so we're talking and the mouths are moving later.
Let's not talk like this and see what they're saying. It drives me nuts, though. It really does. So
it's very distracting.
Yeah. If it is my end, it looks good from here, so I can't help it very much. It's amazing that we can do what we're doing, you know, without TVs and microwaves. We're doing this all on the internet. What do you think of the Mavic mini drone? Larry, I like it. It's just a little tiny drone, and that's what we use. Carry it with us. It's easy to operate. It's fun. I wish more places were drone friendly, because I do want to shoot more drone video. I love drone video, but it's a great, you know, and it's not that expensive. I've had the big Phantom 4s, and they're big, and what do you know, space is the premium in these little RVs, and the little Mavic is in a carrying case about that big, so it's really easy to carry right with me. Hello from Greg and Leslie in Naples, Florida. Love the new Wonder. We're still in waiting for our LTV Unity. You remember Greg and Leslie? That's the last of our RV Lifestyle Fellow Traveler gatherings. They helped put that together in Naples, Florida in February, just before everything shut down. And they had their unit ordered then. So, Leslie, I wonder when you guys are supposed to get it, because you've had it ordered. You're going close to a year, I think, right? So hopefully you got an idea when that unit is coming. We do miss those gatherings.
We do.
Those were really fun to do. Those, little meetups that we would do around the country. I hope we can do those again.
Yeah.
Hi guys, thanks for all you do. Just got your boondocking guide. Thank you. Quick question: where do you get the freshwater replaced when you're boondocking? You know, you can do it from anywhere. Truck stops sometimes have it. Most places, if you have an app, we use the Allstays app. You can often find an RV park nearby that will let you tap it off. I went to a KOA once in where was that? In Utah, and paid them $5, and they let me fill up my freshwater tank. They actually didn't want to charge me anything. I just gave them $5 because they let me do it. Another thing is, you know, city parks. Most city parks have freshwater. State parks have freshwater. So it's never been a problem. You know, you fill it up. We try not to drive with a full tank of freshwater because it weighs 350 pounds, a full tank of 30 gallons of freshwater. So we drive with enough to use on the road, and then we fill it up usually at our destination or just before we get there. If we know we're going boondocking and they don't have fresh water where we're gonna go easy, we'll fill it up there beforehand. But we've never in 9.5 years had a problem finding water ever. Worst case scenario, this unit has a little siphon hose, and I could get bottled waters or jugs of water and siphon a gallon of water into it real easy. With just putting a hose in and turning a switch, and sucks it right into the fresh water tank. That's a neat feature. That's a really novel. And to do this live stream. Does that make sense? So this new service I have, which I wrote about today, Nomad, we're testing it out for a couple of months. I think we're going to use this more and more. It's on the AT&T network, which isn't quite as widespread as Verizon, but pretty close now. And it's been great. It's truly unthrottled, and it is unlimited. So unless you do abusive stuff like, you know, sell movies and you can watch, you know, watching, you know, a movie every hour on multiple devices, different movies. You know, if you abuse the system, everybody's going to say, wait a minute, you're using, you know, unreasonable amounts. Quincy, do you have any other transportation when you try to travel? How do you get groceries, visit sites? Do you try and stay near a town when you bike? That's a good question. We do not have another vehicle. We have e-bikes that we can take with us. And by the way, I have figured out a way how we can take our 2 e-bikes. I mentioned here that we were thinking about selling them and getting the collapsible ones, which would fit in the garage of this unit, the extra big storage we have. However, I can take the wheel off one, put it in the garage, and then I can take the bike rack and put the other one on the bike rack we have on the hitch. Hitch has only a 200-pound limit, tongue weight limit, but with the bike and with the rack, it's about 125 pounds. So the bikes are about 65 pounds each. So it's doable. We can do it. And usually, it's not a hassle for us if we have to run into town to get supplies. We just run into town to get supplies and then come right back to our site. We've never lost the site. No one's ever poached the site that we left for a while in a boondocking area. I'm sure that happens. We have a little sign we put out that says campsite occupied. Nobody's stolen that yet. This is 9 years going, so it's all been pretty good, right?
Right.
Not an issue on any of these things. Okay. Boy, it's getting hot in here. Looking for questions. Somebody says, love the concept of Nomad. Thanks to Intel, can that be integrated into Winegard? No, it can't. Different system, different technology. It won't work with the Winegard on my roof. That's the dedicated, and you can see it in the video that I talked about today. That's the dedicated internet I have that works, in my case now, on the Winegard's working with Verizon. And the system I'm on now, which is the Nomad system, is working on AT&T's network. Julie, when will you be heading out next and where to? Good question. We just were asking that ourselves not 30 minutes ago. Well, no more than that, 45 minutes ago. Where are we going next?
Well, this weekend that we have coming up, I think we have 3 different places to go.
Yeah. And one's in northern Michigan.
3 different opportunities.
One's in northern Michigan, one's in Nashville, and one's down on the Gulf Coast of Florida. So chances are we may do one of those 3.
Chances are we'll
probably do all 3. But
no, we're not going to do all 3.
We do know that we want to spend most of, from maybe mid-September until the end of October-ish, up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
I miss the Upper Peninsula.
And we love fall up there. I mean, I've been doing a lot of thinking about fall, and we've got several posts coming up on rvlifestyle.com. But we may run down to Florida. We do love that Emerald Coast on the Gulf Coast, and much of the crowds have gone, and it's a pretty nice area to be right now.
I'm not sure the crowds are gone.
I looked today at some live cams.
I mean, I don't know when school's starting any place.
Down south it's starting, in some starts are starting next week. Some of the colleges down south start tomorrow on Monday, and others are starting at the end of August, so they're a little later. But a lot of people, everybody stops traveling about this time usually. And the next big time is Labor Day weekend. There'll be a lot of people.
Yeah, everybody runs out then.
What's the average price to pay to get the oil changed in your outboard generator? Never had to do it yet. Mine is under the RV. Got to crawl under to change it. Only takes a half quart of oil. I've never had to do that yet. I've never owned an RV long enough to have to do that yet. So I'll let you know. I don't know. I'll see what happens. I don't know how often you have to do it. I don't think very much.
I have to call.
Yeah. Here's a new one. Loving Life Hitched Up. That's a great name. First time on your live stream. Big fan of your channel for a long time. Thank you for being here. Started watching before we bought our first RV and before we started our own channel. Well, congratulations. That's great. How many miles were on your Unity when you sold it? I think about 25 or 26,000 when we sold it. And that was one of the reasons we sold it quick, because we had low mileage. And we decided to sell it, still thinking we were going to be able to do all the rest of the planned travel we had for this year.
We would have worn that thing out if we had done all the traveling that we were scheduled to do this year.
So we had a ton of stuff to go. So Samuel, what's the best national park you've stayed at? Oh man, they're all nice, Samuel.
I think I've switched my loyalties to Glacier.
I think so. Glacier National Park is probably...
I used to always say Yellowstone.
I love Glacier, and I'm so excited about the Great Outdoors Act, which President Trump signed into law. Finally, we got Congress to agree on something. You all realize how awesome that was, that both the Senate and the House and both parties in both agreed, and we passed the Great Outdoors Act, which is going to put billions into our national parks to improve their infrastructure. And I think of that road to many glaciers at Glacier. It's closed right now. Blackfeet Nation have closed it because of COVID, but it'll be open again. And that road is one of the worst roads I've ever driven in my life. Horrible maintained. And I'm hoping that the Great Outdoors Act is going to fix that road up. The campgrounds in our national parks, many places have been a disgrace, and that money is going to help and fix that. But probably Glacier's our favorite. And I guess, why do you like Glacier so much?
Because I've had a lot of great experiences there. I've had fun there. I have seen animals up close and personal, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, I think for me it's because it's just so dramatic, and you're right there in the midst of it. No matter which part of the park you go on, I think the wildlife, I agree with that too. And we have had really wonderful times at Glaciers. Do you prefer state campgrounds or private campgrounds?
Boy, some of the state campgrounds are awesome. I mean, absolutely knock your socks off. I'm thinking about Colorado when we were out there, some, state campgrounds that were very nice. And private ones are nice too.
Yeah,
sometimes private, how much you want to pay. But just because you pay a lot doesn't mean it's what you want.
I think
I don't like camping in dirt. I gotta say, I really don't like tracking all that dirt in.
Yeah, I think pretty much across the board we would prefer a state or national campground or dispersed camping in a state forest, national forest, BLM land. But we're not adverse to private campgrounds. There's some really nice private campgrounds, and and we love Harvest Host, which we don't really consider campgrounds, but that just opens up a whole different area of experiences. So, but generally, the big commercial campgrounds, those are not our favorite places to go. We'll stay in them. Sometimes we'll stay because we've got to do laundry or something. When we like KOAs a lot. They have dog runs at KOA.
I was thinking about that Boyd on the Keys. I liked camping there,
Boyd's
even though the sites were small.
Yeah, Boyd's campground in Key West. We have a video up. You can see that on our Key West video. We like that a lot. If you listen to us enough, you'll hear us. We kind of basically like everything.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we
have fun.
Yeah, and
it's good.
I mean, we have had
if it's not good, you move.
So few negative experiences that I can't even recall. Maybe one or two, but not even worth talking. In 9 years, every place we go, there's something good and fun about all of them. Do you have a ballpark amount that an auto leveling system would be to add to a Class B van? I saw your video today on that. I don't know if you need it on a Class B van, because you're shorter. A Class B van could be anywhere from 19 to 22 feet. If you have the extended version, it's almost 25. But the bottom line, the average, they tell me, is with labor to install one. And that's either from the people that we have, which is the Equalizer system. There's another company near Elkhart called Bigfoot that also does auto leveling systems. But they're all, I would say $3,000 to $4,000 is what it costs. So that's a lot of money. It's a big investment. It was the very first investment after we bought this unit in June. It's the very first thing we did. That's how important we think the auto leveling system is.
Before the year ends, it'll probably that it saved our marriage.
Yeah, because I would tend to say it's good enough.
You'd say good enough.
It's it's only off a little bit, and it wasn't ever good enough. But it's good. All right, I'm looking for more questions. Thoughts on the Thor Axis RUV? What's an RUV? Maybe not just RV. We've been in the Thor Axis. I think that's the small Class A, if I'm not mistaken. It's too big for me. It's really not that much longer. It's the size of a C, but it's a little taller, I think. But it's kind of like an entry-level Class A. But it's probably too big for us. I think we wouldn't probably look at that. Now I tell you all that stuff about Class A's. that's just our impression. We've never really
Never camped in one.
never camped in
driven
a
one.
Class A. We've never driven one.
Then you would need a toad.
Then you would need a toad, and you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe someday we will get one. I don't want to say.
And I can guarantee you, I will not drive it.
I'm not sure I will either. But I guess I want to. You know, sometimes I come off. I say we never have one. Well, how do I know? I've never really been in one. We've never tried one, and we know they're pretty nice and comfortable and roomy. But I don't see us in that. But we should try one. We should buy one and use it for a couple of weeks and see what we really think about it. Don't you think?
Sure.
Maybe. If you don't drive, it's not worth it. Okay, enjoyed the info on the Nomad story that we did yesterday on that new internet system. I see you're using the Nighthawk, but did Nomad offer info on their other options? It's on their website. The others didn't apply to me. You can bring your own SIM card. There's lots of ways you can come down on it. We went with the Nighthawk router, which is a great router. I'm really, you're watching us on it today. So it's doing a great job. And you can see all the different options on their website. And you can kind of pick whatever works for you. That's what worked best for us. I think they call it the double blue plan because it's on AT&T, and it kind of meets all the things that we need. Let's see. Robert, being a locksmith, we have found the weight of your keys bouncing up and down damage the wafers in the ignition and can be expensive to replace. Oh, Robert, you had to give him a real reason. Okay.
No, it just
you, Robert, I trust. I believe you because your experience.
It just doesn't make sense. Somebody
showed me a thing. They sent me a link, and you basically take all your keys off and you put it in a little thing, and it kind of like a switchblade life. You push a button and it pops out the key you want. I got to find a key solution. But thank you, Robert, for.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that.
Okay. Now I'm stuck if anything happens to my ignition. But you know, Robert, I've done this for...
Okay, now you've been warned.
Okay, I've been warned.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Robert, for weighing in on that issue for me. Darn it. Steve, is it legal to retrofit the dinette seats on the Wonder with seat belts to allow for additional passengers?
It wouldn't be code. You could add a seatbelt, but it wouldn't be code.
I don't know if code's the correct word.
Well, I don't know.
It's
it wouldn't be street legal.
But yes, you could. The problem is there's no real place to anchor them to underneath there. Now, I'm not saying that somebody wouldn't do that for you and figure out a way to do it, but it's not whoever, National Highway Safety Institute, whoever authorizes these would not agree to that because you can't. I don't think you can lock on to the frame or wherever seatbelts have to be locked to.
I was planning on putting a seatbelt on the seat right behind Mike because the Wonder that I'd seen before, there was a section that slid out and a cushion you put down and it made it longer. And I was going to try to train Bo to sit up there when we drive so that he'd put a little seatbelt, a little harness, a seatbelt, and put him there. And they've stopped doing that.
They stopped making that.
They stopped making this little slide.
We need like a carpenter could put
maybe
something
we
up.
could have somebody add that.
We just need somebody who's handy as wood that they could make a little thing that he could then sit up there.
He could sit there and he could see.
Yeah,
I think it would make our life easier.
Yeah, wish we knew somebody who knew that stuff because it'd be really fun to hook that up and then you could put like a little anchor in there because we do have a little harness and a seat belt for them. So.
Why don't we ask the Holland dealership if
they can do it?
If they could get that.
Because they're so busy fixing RVs, I don't know that they would do that.
Have time for that?
We need a carpenter or somebody.
Well, we need to get what
anybody have any ideas?
Get what they'd already made.
We'll do it.
Because
Kathy, what brand and length? This is a Leisure Travel Vans Wonder rear twin model, and it's 25 feet long, just a shade under 25. Lots of videos on the channel here. We just got it a month ago, and those videos have been watched over 250,000 times. Our tour of this, but you can see those here on the channel, Kathy. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. I'm looking for questions that I got the computer too far away from me because I'm.
Pull it closer.
Well, then I don't want to be jerking the camera around. Here's one question: is your macerator built into your toilet? Yes, there's actually kind of like two macerators. There's one in the toilet, and oh, this is what she says. We have a twin bed bottle, but when it flushes, it uses 1.6 gallons. Did you reduce your water flow when flushing? You know, we talked about that. I got to figure that out, Rose, because you were saying that you thought that
when we borrowed it for 2 weeks, it used a lot of water.
Yeah, because the macerator, there's actually a macerator hose that you drain it with. And that's what I tend to use. I don't tend to use the macerator on the toilet. I put water in it and then just drop it down without running the toilet macerator, which requires both water and the macerator in the toilet. You know what a macerator is for those. What's he talking about? It grinds up the solids. She poked me in the back, so I was going to say something bad.
I don't know what he's going to say.
Trying to be tactful.
No, I was
but you got to explain it.
Trying to rein you in.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere with it. That was as far as I'm going. So, and when you do that part, it does use a lot of water. I don't want to use 1.5 gallons when the tank's only 30 gallons. So we just use a little bit of water and then...
What's this we? I've been wasting a whole bunch of water.
Well, don't. Don't. I'll show you. There's two buttons there.
Okay.
We're used to kind of like a little step you push.
I'm used to the step.
Yeah, there's a little button. If you just push that, it just goes whoosh all down there, and you can put water in it.
Okay.
And that's what we'll use. But yeah, we noticed that on the last Wonder that we test drove, that it took up a lot of water.
All the water's gone.
Yeah. We'll be traveling to Mackinac UP in a few weeks. What parks would you recommend for longer than a day or two? I'm going to do a blog post on this because we're going to be up there. But Kathy, go to my... it's $7. Pick up our UP travel guide. Just go to rvlifestyle.com/UP. rvlifestyle.com/UP. You find the link to it. It's a $7 instant download. It gives you 7 places to stay in the UP, what you should see, where you can stay, lots of multiple choice places. So check it out. And, you know, the first place that we love, Straight State Park at St. Ignace when you get up there. And that's a really fun place to see. Okay, a couple of super chats that I have missed somehow or another. I don't know how it happened. $10 from Larry. Have you ever owned a Winnebago View or Navion? We have not. If so, how does it compare to the LTVs you've owned? I've narrowed my search to a new LTV, Unity iBed. I don't know what a Unity iBed or the Winnebago View. Love the channel. No, we've looked at both of them. And how do I say this without, I don't want to knock Winnebago, but we thought that the quality between the leisure travel van and Winnebago was so different that it made it real easy. It made it real easy to just go with the LTV. You know, we did look at both of them. They're nice. They're very popular. So that's our thing. $15 super chat from Bradley Olson, and that's just saying, here's $15. Thank you, Bradley. We really appreciate that. You don't have to do the super chat. It's a great encouragement to us. But thank you guys. It's always really nice. All right, back to other questions that because we always put the super chats ahead of the queue a little bit. I went way back here. Well, let's say hi to Sue Fisher. She's in London, UK. It's great to see you. Bill says, I'm not much into wine, but I love microbreweries. Should I pull the trigger on Harvest Host? You should, Bill. Gosh, what was the name of the one we went to in Ohio? That was so much fun, where they threw the axes. So you got to picture this. You know, we're doing a video, right? And that's half of why we do videos. We just love to have fun. And we were at this Harvest Host microbrewery in Ohio. And the guy, you know, we're trying his microbreweries, and we're on the porch. I'm kind of interviewing him, and I had a microbrew, and I put it down on the porch while I'm shooting the interview. And darn if one of their chickens, they have chickens and stuff running around. Chickens came up and started drinking my beer, stole my beer. And then we went out and back, and he said, yeah, we got this axe throwing range. And there's all these guys drinking beer, throwing axes.
Probably why the chickens were drinking beer.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody threw the axe wrong, and chickens are nervous.
Yeah, it could be. They need a little hit to get them through the night. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, there's a lot of fun, and there's several microbreweries out there. Harvest Hosts are great, and you'll love them.
I mean, it's fun experiences. You don't know what you're going to run into.
My parents are placing an order for a Wonder rear twin beds this weekend. What do you consider an acceptable % off the MSRP?
We don't know.
Yeah, not much. Not much. These dealers, none of them really deal. Well, the ones that deal are the ones who sell the really entry level quality on some of their mass produced RVs, some of those bigger names. But there is not a lot of dealing with RVs, particularly now, which is a buyer's
I wonder
seller's market.
what state this is.
Yeah, I don't know what state it's in, but if you're putting in an order, the dealer, their incentive is, well, heck, I'm not getting the money for a year or 16 months because that's how long it's going to take to get it. So, I'm not discounting it much, maybe a few percent. If the dealer has one in stock in inventory, then you've got a little bit more sway with them because they want to get their money out of that. But so people ask this all the time. You don't get much of a deal with an RV.
Can you go online and then everything that was in the one you're looking at, go online and see what it would cost if you ordered it that way?
Yeah, you can go on the Leisure Travel Van site, and most of the other manufacturers have the same thing where you can build your own. These are the options they want. It will give you a manufacturer suggested retail, and then start off. You'll know real quick.
Maybe it's a year older.
You try and lowball them, they're gonna. I mean, there's not a lot of incentive for dealers to have to hard sell you because people are buying these things sight unseen right now. Next year, you're predicting a glut of new RVs, of barely used RVs on the market. So many people have bought RVs. June was the most RVs they've ever sold in history. So right now, your folks are not going to get a big discount. I would be very curious what percent they do get. Would you let me know that? I think maybe 5% is about all most get. It'd be nice to do more. And I know some of you guys think you're real negotiators out there, but this is a seller's market right now. And next year, it might be a different thing. When you get a glut of barely used, previously owned units on there, that will help a little bit. But good luck to your parents. I think they'll have a great time, whatever price they get it at. What RV show has the most Class Bs to look at? When and where? None.
No, we're talking about
RV
La Mesa.
Show. You said what RV show has the most Class Bs? There are no shows scheduled
this year
anywhere now. They're all canceled. Probably your best shot is the Tampa Super RV Show in January. If you want the closest one on the schedule, that would be, if they still have it. They have all the major manufacturers there. Bs are hot selling RVs, so they all will have them. You'll find American Patriot, you'll find Coachman, you'll find Thor, you'll find Winnebago, you'll find Road Trek, you'll find Leisure, you'll find Pleasureway. All the major brand manufacturers will be at that show if they have it. The next opportunity is probably, see another dog walking past. The next opportunity is this, what Jennifer was just saying, the Super B RV show in April out in Phoenix, Arizona. That was canceled this year. They tried it online. And let me just tell you guys something. All these, even in Hershey, Camping World, and some of it, we're going to do it online. There's an online RV show it's not there. I mean, they're just not the same thing. And so they're all trying to spin that, we're going to take it virtual, but virtual doesn't work. You really need to go inside, to lay down, to sit in it. So I would urge somebody, don't buy anything you see from a dealer that's selling you just online. You need to go and try it out, unless you know exactly what it's like. It's like a car. Sometimes you can trust the dealer and but usually go see it yourself. It's too big of an investment. So best shot you got now is Tampa coming up in January, if they still have it. Oh, that's one we just had. Unless they ask it again. My Unity has a built-in surge protector. Yes, most of Leisure's vans do have one. Someone suggested getting a separate one to test the pedestal just before plugging in the rig. Extra insurance. Your thoughts? Well, we have one. We bought an extra. We bought one last year when we bought our RV. We went to the dealer that we bought it from, and I said, do I need an extra? Oh yeah, you need one of these. No, I did not need one because it was built into the RV. They didn't even know that. I guess I should have known. I didn't do my homework, but dealers.
It's hard to know everything.
Well, they're selling $150,000 unit. They should know whether it has a surge protector, and that's the thing with most dealers. They just want to sell it.
Probably could have taken it back.
Well, they're across the country, right? So anyway, I have one, and somebody, I thought of that I could plug it in and then plug it in, but if the pedestal's bad, I'm not going to get power into the unit. I'll see that right there. Truthfully, you'll actually, I'll know it because the unit surge protector will take it off. And then, if I'm curious, I just have to lift up a cushion in ours. I don't know where on your Unity, but in ours, it's underneath I think it's in the same place. I don't know where it is on the Unity, but on ours, it's under the front.
Passenger?
The front, right behind the driver's, the lounge chair. And I just lift the cushion up, and there's some webbing, and I can see it, and it will kick out an error code. However, you could do what you said. If you have one, but a good one costs $350, so that's a lot of money to spend just for extra insurance that you probably don't need. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. Question. Can you tell us the difference between Verizon's visible internet and the new Nomad? I don't know what Verizon, they come up with a new name every time. Yes, I can tell you the difference is Nomad is a bundler. And they are a company, say Jennifer's Nomad. Jennifer goes out and she cuts a deal with Sprint, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and AT&T. Sprint and T-Mobile just merged, so that's going to be good competition. Competition's always good in the cellular market. She cuts a deal if she can with Verizon. We want to buy up massive amounts of bandwidth. And they cut them a deal, and then she, in turn, will cut packages up and sell them to, in terms of Nomad, they started off, and their main thrust is they provide high-speed cellular internet to rural places that aren't serviced by cable, and they're great, And then now they've added it to RV. They do not limit your speeds when you reach a certain amount of capacity, when you reach a cap. In my case, like it's 25 gigabytes of data. Then they call it, they manage. They have another euphemism. They change all these names. Anyway, this service that we're now testing out does not cap my speeds. I'm doing an hour-long video here now, and we've got to go off in just a minute. That is a tremendous amount of bandwidth. I don't know what I will have used. I can't go grab the thing, but probably 18 gigabytes, maybe 15 gigabytes in an hour's video and audio like this. I do 4 of these a month. Some months that have 5 weeks, we do 5. So you can see that, even if it was 10, I've gone way over my cap. And then all my internet data with Verizon is slowed. They will not slow me with this. And I talked to the CEO. He assured me that won't be an issue. AT&T could change their mind tomorrow, and they do that all the time. So you take your chances. But in his case, they've got deals with these other networks, and hopefully we can go. Whew, it's very complicated. Anyway, I kind of explained all that in the blog post. Just go to rvlifestyle.com today. Guys, there's a million other questions on there, and I'm starting to break out in a sweat because it is really warm. Is there a danger of electrocution when the stabilizers and levelers are touching the ground during lightning? No. I don't think so. I don't know. They would tell you that, I think, and no one has told me that. I don't think that's a problem. Sharon, Jen, how do you like the under the bed hanging storage? Do you find it inconvenient to get to the clothes? We really like the transit, but not sure about the under bed storage.
Well, I'll let you know. I think it's not going to be a problem. But I'll let you know.
We put lights in there.
Yeah, the lights were a big help. Because when we had it for 2 weeks, I could never see what it was like down there. That's why I got the hangers that'll keep clothes from sliding off, because I had plastic hangers when we had it for 2 weeks. And you lost a shirt, and we had a shirt in the street. Just flipped off the hanger. Yeah. And I don't want to stand on my head to get something off the floor.
Oh, look at this. You two are so cute together. You help make my lonely evenings not so lonely. Well, come on over and we'll have a cup of coffee or hot chocolate or something. Thank you. We feel we do feel connected to you guys.
Yeah,
You know,
during these lockdown
I love
days.
it. That's the kind thing. I don't know what your real name is there, but something Abel. But you made our night saying that. And I'm just scrolling really quick through here. You guys have been here for an hour. Ernie, that many keys. Back to my keys. Well, damage your ignition switch over time because of the weight. I only keep a house cam. Okay, all you guys.
Somebody asked about photos.
Where was that?
Right above you there a little bit. Where did I see it?
Oh.
Question. Where do you get your photos?
Where do you order your photo prints that you hang in your RV? Oh, we get these from a company called Mixtile. Let's see, do I show you one? There's one right there. Mixtile, Mixtile. They take you pick your cell phone photos and they'll give you these back. They stick on the wall really easy. They don't come off. They leave no mark when you pull them out. It's a command strip type thing. And we got a bunch of them. There's one over by Jennifer there, and we put several of them up. And she thought I was going to use every inch of available space.
He would if I didn't get after him.
I love our pictures. I
know. He actually liked the wrap that we had.
Here's some info from No Worries. Placed a deposit on a Wonder 2 weeks ago. I was told approximately 8 to 10 months. I was hoping for a build date in December, January. Then it will take 6 to 8 weeks to build. So the time for these transits are coming up as well. All right, scrolling through with you guys. There's so many great questions.
Next gathering, boy, we don't know.
What kind of water filter do you use? Take a look at the story we did 2 weeks ago right here on the internet about setting up camp. Tells you all about it. We've got a really great water filter system. It's called Clear 2.0. We got it in June. We used it in Jacksonville, Florida when we were camping. We used it all the way coming back into Michigan. Just makes the water outstanding. It's a 2-stage filter. Look at that video. Just go back a couple bits to that video that was last week or 2 weeks ago maybe. Was it last? No, last week on setting up camp, how to set up camp. And you'll see when we talk about setting up the fresh water, we'll see that filter. And there's a link in the blog post on it as well. All right. And more of you are talking about the keys. I'll go back and read that. Is there any reason to have the Winegard unit if I subscribe to Nomad? No, it'll save you money. In our case, because this is our job, this is our business, we need, in the rare cases where I don't have a signal from Verizon, I've been able to usually get a signal from AT&T. So we like to have that redundant, those two carriers. If I can't get a signal from AT&T, I can probably for sure get one with my Verizon. So we have the two systems. But for most users, one system is probably all you'd need. And it would save you some money there and some roof space too, Dave. Gosh, you guys have so many great questions tonight, and we're all out of time. Captain's Table. Notice a lot of travel YouTubers are all on the bandwagon of buying RVs now for content. Do you think they will help the industry or not take it serious enough for the true RV lifestyle? I don't know what well, I know in our case, I need to be able to answer all your questions about other RVs, and if I haven't at least checked them out, and if I hadn't used, other models, I won't know much more about them. But we do like to have the content. We like to know all the latest bells and whistles, and if we're earning a living, which we are, doing these kind of videos and blog posts and books, we want to be as up-to-date as possible, and we want the latest technology. Now, do we have to have a new one every year? No. Have we been doing that? Yes. Will we keep doing that? Probably not. It's a lot of work getting a new one. It's great work. It's great, exciting. But packing it and getting it all set. So I don't know. If there's great technological advancements ahead, then we probably will get another one. And I think we probably will get another one before it's all done. But right now, our thoughts are this is our forever one. It's not. It's not. It's like it's not your forever car. But a lot of RVers are doing the same thing too, and you see them all go. Now, there's a lot of RVers who, and we were like that the first part of our journey. The RV manufacturers gave us an RV to use They called it a lease, but it was basically they gave it. Well, that's true of a lot, like Winnebago and some of the bigger companies. They do that right now with some of their key influencers, as they call what we do. So these folks get the latest and they use it. And um, we've bought this one ourselves, and we bought the previous one ourselves. And it's just cleaner that way. And once you have a new one, and then if you flip it every year or so, and you add all the stuff like we've added, you can get in and out of it pretty inexpensively. It doesn't really You don't really lose anything. It's a long question, but that's probably why you're seeing it. Some of them are people who are getting them provided by the manufacturer, and the manufacturer wants to put them in different ones all the time. So there you go. Can you use 2 routers on one Nomad account? No. So you could have internet at home and in the RV at the same time. Yes, I guess you could. You'd have to pay for the service at both of them. Example, if I traveled in an RV and husband stayed at home, we'd both want internet. Yes, you would. So the question is, do you stay with cable at home, or do you get a second one for him and pay twice the fee? But you can't have 2 routers and one fee. I don't think. Call the company. Maybe they would let you do that. I don't know. So that's good. Wow, a $15 super chat from Bradley. I think, did we say that before? If we did, thank you, Bradley. I'm just really scrolling through to the end here as fast as I can.
10 after.
Electrocution danger, we answered that question. How did you two meet? That's that word, adorable. We are, maybe, people keep calling us adorable.
We got them fooled. They don't know we're both kind of ornery.
Yeah, we are kind of. Tell them how we met real quick, and I'll go through this whole list.
Next week. We'll keep them tuned for next week.
Okay, you want it next week? All right. We should do a video. Where's the best place to be on the lookout for the lightly used RVs that you predict will be on the market next year? RV Trader, Facebook Marketplace. Start looking even right now. I think you can even put little keywords in. Watch and see what happens. But I think a lot of people bought RVs so they could have a vacation this year. Been there, done that, and then they'll go back to traveling to Europe or cruises and stuff. Do you recommend any brand of Blackwater hose in best length? I've seen from 10 to 25. I use just 25 feet, and it works just fine. And I get the thickest, the widest hose I can get. And the stuff I bought, I usually buy a new water hose,
every year.
Blackwater hose.
Oh, Blackwater.
I don't use Blackwater. I mean, we have a Macerator, so we don't have that. I don't know. The white hose, I buy a new one every year, and it's hard to get them so they don't kink. Well, gosh, there's so many more questions that I just can't get into because we are way over time now, and it's a good thing that my internet's not being throttled. So, hey, thank you guys. Newsletter tomorrow. We got a pretty good post on 20 spots coming out tomorrow. State parks around the country. That's great for you to start doing your fall camp plans. Check that blog post out. If you are a subscriber to our fellow travelers here, just sign up for our newsletter. It's on rvlifestyle.com. You get the newsletter bright and early every Monday morning, and you'll also get noticed when we have new posts and content and perks and all that stuff out. So thank you for being here with Ask Us Anything. We'll be back next week. I think we're going someplace this week ahead. We don't know. If not this week, it'll be the week ahead after that, or after that again. But we do know that we sure enjoyed some time with all of you guys. So thank you so much for being with us.
Happy trails.